welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out. With your hosts, Brandon, Colin, and Aaron. On this week's show, Mesopotamia time of year.
Ahoy.
Ahoy.
We are here. We are here.
Yes. Sorry about that.
And regardless of politics, we are talking to you over a very cool internet connection right now.
Uh-oh.
So that means you better watch what you say.
That's true. He'll just cancel me, right? He'll be like, no, I don't like you.
Well, see, now just for saying that, you're probably going to get canceled. So great job.
Listen, it's not my fault. I didn't do that. I just
you didn't say the thing. I mean,
I didn't say who.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. No one knows. That's a good point.
Yeah, no one knows. Right? Here's the hint. May or may not be slowly turning into a Batman villain.
I mean, maybe. We're not sure. We haven't seen the final evolution yet.
That's true. Could go either way yet.
Right. What kind of form takes place?
Leaning towards Batman villain.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, true. So the saga of Dad Internet continues.
It does.
Yes, right?
It does. Unfortunately, yes, because it's still in the testing phase. It's not in the best position. We may experience some interruptions. So we'll just see what happens.
This is. Okay, has he yet mentioned words like windmill, chimney? Right? Are these like in the works? Is he gonna rig it into his other antenna array that he's got going on there? Like, I don't know.
Shockingly, he's not interested in that. Now I will say
because it might mess up the frequencies. Right?
Yes.
It might mess up his radio. That's
might mess up. He can't talk to Nova Scotia or whatever. We are. It is. He also doesn't want this just out in the middle of a field, which is where the best place for this would be, to have open access to the sky.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's inconvenient for a hay field, right? That's not.
Yes,
that's a good place to get run over by a hay rake, right? That's not. That's not a good idea, right? Like,
but also he does have quite a bit of yard that would make this fine. So we have come up with two alternate locations. One is actually by the front porch, by the metal bench, because that's just far enough away from the house and away from the bushes and trees that it doesn't. That's the direction that it needs to go. Unfortunately. And another location that would be very good would actually be mounted atop the fence post by the well.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yes,
that's far out in the middle, and there's nothing else over there since that tree fell down. It died a long time ago, right? Like, that's what I was thinking. But then you have to run cabling, like bury it.
Yeah,
right.
It wouldn't have to be too deep, but
I know.
Yes.
But like, again, this is not something that hasn't happened before.
Yeah, he's never buried a cable before.
Oh yeah, it doesn't happen just like randomly, right? Like, doesn't just happen. It could be a test run for his like big antenna thing.
Array that he's thinking about doing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yes, that is we looked at that spot. He needs to get a special
like a mount
pole adapter mount thing to affix it to the thing.
The engineer needs to purchase a special No.
Yes.
No. All right. He's just a welder, right? It'd be fine. Blam. Done.
Yes. Yeah. The other unfortunate aspect is the one in front of the house would actually be the easiest one to get to. No trenching involved. Just putting the cable
Literally.
Unfortunately,
you could bury it in those rocks.
yes. Unfortunately, the cable is about 5 feet too short.
That is a problem.
Yes, and because this is kind of a super special cable,
Yeah,
you can't
5 feet probably is like $1 billion cable.
You can't just splice it in, and they don't offer extensions. So what I thought they would have is they would have a little female adapter on both ends that you could plug to both sides. They don't make one of those. You just have to buy a whole new cable. So
that's dumb.
Yeah, the options are like 50 feet, 75 feet, and like 150 feet.
Wow. So conveniently sized.
Yes. Anyway, so
you could get a cable to reach out in the middle of that field anyway.
Right.
800 yards of cable. That's not cool, right? That's
yes. So that was so we're figuring out what exactly to do. Yeah, it's kind of wild to
dusting
see
off your trigonometry, right? Like, oh, let me just
going shortest route. I mean, the shortest route would I'm in the basement right now. The shortest route would actually to take the cable, because the router is upstairs by the TV, run it through the dropped ceiling through the basement and out through the front. But that would require drilling a hole on the front of the house.
Yeah.
But he already has a hole on the side of the house where the other cables were coming in before. So
exactly.
He rightfully so. He doesn't want to just go around making a Swiss cheese mold out of his house. And I
mean, that is true. Like, you don't just want to drill holes everywhere.
So, trying to figure out what's going to happen. I will say that speeds when it's running are like nothing that I've ever experienced out here. It's
out in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere without fiber. I mean, again, this is just a little tiny dish pointed up at the sky. It's not even, it doesn't even look like the old DirecTV thing that we used, or not DirecTV, but was it DirecTV? Was that?
No. Well, we had that for the TV, but there was the
HughesNet.
The HughesNet one.
So,
right.
You're not supposed to do this whenever you're actively recording an audio podcast because it messes with the signal. But I'm doing
listeners,
as we get garbled here. I'm doing a speed test. It maxed out at 78 down and kind of settled into 49 down. And is now sitting at 18 up. So, considering how before it was like 5 down and many times it was like 0.1 up. It was like, this is actually, serviceable. So, we will see. So this is a grand test. I'm a little sleepy, so I didn't want to record from the office and then have to drive out later tonight. Plan. And I was like, you know what? We'll just do that. And here we are.
Here we go. I like it. We'll see. This is the official test. Does it podcast? There we
go. So, today has been a lot. I was invited to something called I don't know if I want to promote this, but something to help with like branding and marketing. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll help with branding and marketing.
Yeah,
and
I love branding. Not so much marketing, but branding is fine.
Yeah, it drives me insane. And so I was invited from somebody at the chamber to come to this. They were putting it on, and it's free. And I was like, okay, invited speaker in, breakfast. I like breakfast. Right? And I was like, okay, sweet. So I come in, and I'm sitting there, and it was she was just like, oh, we put this on every year and help small businesses with branding and marketing messages. And we do it this time of year so you can gear up for the next year and get ready. I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. Okay, great. Thanks. Oh, cool.
Oh, like fiscal year stuff, right? It's like,
yeah, right. So
the other year,
yes, but not that year. The other year, yeah. Anyway, I show up and I'm talking with somebody, and they're asking what I do. I'm telling them, and they're like, "Oh, do you have a business card?" And I said, "No, I don't."
You should roll your eyes.
I don't. And I was getting ready to go and say that I can have him scan my phone, because I did use a company to make a digital one that they scan a little QR code. And he goes, "That's fine. Who's your sales rep?"
It's me.
And I said, "Oh, I handle sales." And he goes, No. Who's your sales rep that brought you here?" And I was like, "They what?"
You got pyramided. Oh no.
Oh, and I was like, "Oh, her name's so and so." And I sat back down and I was like, "What did I get myself into?" And
did you look around and notice all the triangle shaped objects? Did they tell you to bring 2 people next time you come? Like, no.
Oh yeah, why are the tables? They're not round, they're triangles. No, it's always a dead giveaway, right? When the tables are. Oh, I was so I'm like, well, this is
either a Mason's Lodge or a pyramid scheme.
Right. This is frustrating. So I sit down, and then sure enough, the lady who invited me comes over and sits down at this table, and she's talking, and then she's like, "Oh, I'll be right back." And she stands up and she starts actively going over to people that she invited to our table, and she sits down, and then we're talking together, and then I look around, and every other table has someone that kind of, looks like her, with a bunch of people who look like me. And I was like, what am I doing here?
And then the snookered.
The presentation starts, and the guy, he's really charismatic. He's talking about messaging and finding your distinctive values. Some good stuff. And he's walking through, and all of a sudden he
was wearing a suit jacket and a t-shirt, wasn't he?
No, actually, he was wearing like, get this guy, board shorts and a fishing shirt.
That was my next guess, right? Literally was my next guess. These people are either doing the like suit t-shirt thing, like a graphic tee, because they're yo.
Yep.
Or like full blown, like insane, like board. Was it a Salt Life t-shirt?
It was not a Salt Life t-shirt,
but like similar vein, right?
Yes,
like,
very much.
I keep seeing these like people with Salt Life bumper stickers in Missouri. Like, bro, you are lost.
No. They're getting ready for winter. That's all I say.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's true.
They're embracing our Missouri winter.
Corpus Christi, right? Their winter home.
Uh-huh. No. I'm talking about Salt Life as in driving on the roads with lots of salt. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
But he's going
car washes in business through the winter.
And he makes reference to Kitchenland, and I go, "Oh, I know Kitchenland. Do you know Kitchenland?"
I don't know Kitchenland.
Let me say,
this is either a really weird kitchen showroom or the world's second worst theme park, right?
No.
Like, that's got to be.
No. I'm gonna say this phrase.
Oh no!
And I want to see if you remember this. From our slightly obsessive Amish family.
Oh, what?
Any I'm doing some. Do you remember this phrase? The marketing was the fact they built kitchen cabinets that were soft close so you could never slam them, and they were built by a slightly obsessive Amish family.
So okay, so like the best way to describe my brain right now is like you're walking down through the park early morning and it's like foggy, right? And you recognize things sorta over there, right? Like that's
if you heard the guy's voice, you'd be like, "Oh, right." But he always ended his commercials with, "Kitchens built in the tradition of my slightly obsessive Amish family."
It's a really weird sentence. That's why it triggered me, because that is not a normal phrase to hear, right?
No, it's not. right? Because usually we just say my obsessive Amish family or
or
whatever.
my Amish family, because
Yes.
there's a lot of. I mean, I guess I'm not going to offend any Amish people because they're not listening to this, but like there's some heavy connotations that go with Amish, right? Like,
Yes, yes. So and I remember as soon as he said that phrase, I was like, oh. And then this guy who's talking starts talking about how he's worked with that company and how they partnered with the company that was hosting the event. And I was like, oh, the person who invited me works for the company, and that company is a marketing and ad campaign company. And so this guy's talking about branding and what? What did I say? Marketing.
Marketed you. Dang it.
And so, of course, then it all just clicks. He's the tie-in to bring people in to show them the what, right? He wants to show them what to do or like some ideas. And then at the end is the upsell that's going to get you to the how to do it, that you have to pay for that. And then if you just want them to do the full service and take it over you because you don't have enough time and you're very busy, they'll just do the whole thing for you. And I was like, oh my God. And then he's talking about media and picking the right media. And again, good concepts of you only have so much ad budget. So stop
there's so much incongruity here, right? We were talking about like media and like social marketing and Amish family. It's like, my brain is having trouble keeping up with this, right? I'm on the website right now. And this is like a disaster of a landing page, right? First of all, this is the world's most generic landing page. Second of all, right? Beautiful, refined, durable. These are like ultra modern interiors. Yeah. And then it says the perfect Amish style kitchen. And that there's nothing, this is such, these are such divorced like ideas, right? Yeah. Like traditional Amish heritage and like hyper modernity that I cannot, like, what even is this branding? What is this dude doing talking about marketing? This doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, what he's done is he's been working with this company since 2004. Oh, that was just fast forward. The guy who owns Kitchen Land comes out at the end and talks about how wonderful it is to work with the company who's hosting and the brilliant man who's doing this and does like, so do your thing. Yes, this whole thing was like a fever dream because he's talking about very local aspects, which is not something that I am used to, of like, oh, we work with this company and this company and this company.
They're things you've heard of.
Things that I've heard of, right? Especially, here's another one for you. Woody Justice
he does want to be your jeweler.
He does. And that was an aspect of Woody going, I want to be your jeweler. That came from his early aspects where you've got a car repairman, you've got a lawn crew, you've got a cleaning crew, you've got you've got all these people that you trust in your life. I want to be your jeweler. And he always said your.
Yeah. But, it works so well. You know where I bought my wedding rings?
Yeah. I know. Apparently, I didn't know this. He did something like $18 million a year out of that one location.
Oh, yeah.
And was a nationally known person. Yeah. In
that one really inconvenient location. Like, that's the worst placement for a store ever. But
ever. It was like tucked behind a hill off of a highway, right?
Yeah.
Like, what? Anyway.
But like like everybody knows where it is. So like
Woody Justice.
Yeah.
And so he's talking about that, and I understand this stuff. And then he's talking about this other company, Steve's Pest Control, and like the branding they did with them and the marketing they did with him. And I was like, I've heard of those people. I almost hired a guy who worked for them. That's crazy. That person never responded to any of my messages afterwards. So that's a different thing. But and then he starts talking about the media that you're supposed to be using. And it's good stuff again of like, you only have so much ad budget, which he represented with a cup of water. And you've got all these different cups that you could fill for your media. And then he's like, radio. And that's what these guys do best. And he starts talking about the importance of radio. And I was like, oh, it's a freaking radio station, people. Oh, gosh, they're good. I have been fending these people off with a 16-foot pole over the last 3 years saying no. And here I am sitting in their seminar.
Stuck.
I know. And I'm trying to take the notes and be the most of it. And there were genuinely some very helpful things that are going to help us change how we talk and like think about stuff. Like, for example, as he's talking and blubbering on about the wonders of radio, I asked a question to myself that I've never asked myself, which is a good question that I should have asked myself, is what percentage of people in Missouri travel for holidays? Right.
I bet it's a very large number.
That's a very large number. 47%, if you wanted to know, of Missourians.
Oh my good gravy.
Travel for the holidays. Now you're going to ask yourself, how many of those people only take one vacation a year? And it's something like 70%.
Yeah.
So 350 days a year, they are quote unquote out of my market. They don't need me 355 days a year. They only need me for that 2 weeks around Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
And that kind of changes how you talk to them. Instead of trying to talk to them every day to convince them to book you today, they don't need you July. They don't need you January 1 through through November 20th.
1. That's
right.
That's
they don't. And so I was like, right. I need to be talking to them differently than the people who I'm trying to get for, more. That's holiday travel people. So then that's a segment of our ad, and then or of our marketing, and then dailies are different, and then so it helped me segment it out, and it made a lot of sense to me. And I was like, right, okay, that helps me. And then I did then while he's talking again, I'm like, what's the average commute time for somebody in our county? I'm like doing all of these things up. I was like, this is actually really helpful to me. So that was good.
The Springfield regional area, it can be quite lengthy, right? Because I mean, like, think about Dad, right? That's like a 45-minute commute to wherever you're going,
Right. And so that helps us, me go, how do I talk to people who have long commutes, right? Because those are actually my clients who live further away, but not too far away, hopefully, that I can still get to and take care of their pets. It's just inconvenient for them to get home on a lunch break or something. So, that's stuff that I started to put together independent of questions that they were asking. And it was just, then at the end they were like, yeah, and if you want to, sign up. And I was like, I am leaving here. I was so frustrated that, it was just like, okay, like just be upfront, people. Just be upfront. That's all.
True. It's also, it's incongruous to summon Woody Justice with like this upfront, like not upfront, sneaky people, right?
Yeah.
That's why you like Woody, because he's like honest. You need to channel your like old, sincere dude, right? That's who you need. You need Woody Justice. You need, thinking about this right now. When the last time I haven't eaten at Wendy's since Dave Thomas died. Boom. There you go. That's how good the marketing was. But you believe Dave Thomas, right? I haven't set foot in a Wendy's since he stopped being in control of me, right? The sincerity level down the drain, right? Corporate, down. Faceless, weird, right? The French fries the boxes aren't yellow anymore, so it's no good, right? That's how it is.
Yep, not good. Color change, not different. They changed it. It's different on the outside. It's different on the inside.
Yeah, dude.
And that's so. Yes, it was like, okay, we can find some things here. We can fine tune some stuff. And later, it was just a whole mess. And it got us thinking about a lot of like how, anyway, that's just, I did that. And then I was running around all sorts of places today. And then I was late to like a after hours business meeting for the chamber that I was trying to get to. And it was, I still haven't
Sorry, I was kidnapped by board shorts guy. I didn't.
Right, sorry, sir. I still haven't quite mastered the art of entering into a room that I like have no business being in and just going up and talking to people. Like, I'm a very outgoing person, but I'm not that outgoing of just walking up to a random table and being like, "Can I have a seat?" Anyway, hi, I'm Colin. Like, it's like, that's hard for me. So I kind of walked in and like scouting out, like, are there any faces in here? I don't even know their names, but is there a face in here that I think I remember? And I'm just going to go up and say hi and let them know that I'm, oh, it's great to catch up with you, and do that thing, and then turn slowly to the rest of the group and go, and you don't know me, but here am I. This is my name. And then leave.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's too awkward, right? Play it cool, right? Just like a high school lunch, right? Just really play it cool. You just go sit down, it's like, sup. And then that's it. Just let them talk, and then they're fine.
Oh, and be disinterested, actively disinterested in them.
That's how you get all. Yeah, that's definitely that won't work, but it's fine.
So
those are skills I also do not possess, right? Like I don't want to just like sit and talk to people, right? This is what the reverse thing happens to me. Right? I will like sit down, like on our teacher days and stuff. Like I will sit down by myself, and then like other people just come. I'm like, dang it! I was. This is not what I wanted. I don't want.
Yeah. Yep. So I did that. It's just been kind of a chaotic day. All sorts, unfortunately. But
horrifying. There's a lot of horrifyingness that I not.
And again, and I'm at this little meeting with this brand thing, and I'm standing there, and this guy walks up to me and goes, "Oh, good to see you again." And I was like, "Oh, right. Hi." I have no idea who this man is. He's talking to me, and he's like, "Yeah, we really liked using your services last time." And I was like, "Oh, okay. It's a client." I'm like, this is not helping. And then he said, "Did I invite you to my networking thing?" And boom, it clicked. I told the story of this guy. This is networking. Is it
Larry guy?
This is Larry guy. Okay.
That's why I was like, wait, is this the guy that called you Larry guy? Is that what happened?
Yeah. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh. So anyway, now great. Now I gotta steer away from this, and then
because he's gonna introduce you to a whole new room of people. He's like, "Yo, guys, I want you to meet my friend Larry guy."
Right. I'm just like, nope. We gotta move over, right? Gotta go over here, and so I steer away from him quick. And I do my quick acknowledgments, and I make a beeline back for the biscuits and gravy. Right? I'm like, oh, hungry, yeah, sure, busy, right? And I go sit back down, and then the lady who invited me brings over another person who sits down, and the lady who invited me tries to introduce this new person to me, and that person goes, "Oh, I know, you took care of our dog." And I was like, who? Like, genuine, like the other guy was kind of like, I vaguely remember you. This person, I have never seen this person in my entire life. I have no idea.
Maybe you met their spouse.
Right. And then she says, "Yeah, you took care of my husband's dog before we were married, and his name, his dog, blah, blah." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Wow. Hi. Yeah." And apparently anyway, I go, how's the dog?" And she goes, "Oh, she's dying."
Oh,
I was like,
dang it.
I was like, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Like that's really hard." And she goes, "Yeah, I'm not really a dog person, so
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well, what a thing to tell the pet guy. Way to talk to the guy wearing the pet sitter shirt. That's real helpful.
Like, this is not
like, I don't really like
good.
dogs. Anyway.
Well,
like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna go now. Like, I don't.
But I'm sitting at the table with her. Like, I can't.
Oh no! With a dog hater and a network enthusiast.
And so I go. Oh, well, how long did he have her? And she paused, and she went, "Well, he's got shared custody with his ex, so that tells you something." And I went, "Oh, okay."
I believe they have a term for this, Colin. I think it's called escaping goblins only to be chased by wargs. I think that's what
yes. This describes exactly what is happening. Not just from Larry guy to this person, but now from this person to the same person where I can't get away from this conversation. Because, like, what do I say? What do you say? You can't. It's not getting better. Things have not gone well.
Like, how you feel about 80s basketball? I got a guy you can talk to.
Right. Yeah. I got. Let me.
The 1986 conference finals over here. Right. Talk to
This is where I think juggling would be very interesting for me, because then in these awkward situations, I could just be like, oh, what, and just start juggling things and just break the tension, right?
The cutlery, like,
yeah. What I was just like, what are you? Because now again, crystal focus. It's not that she's not a dog person. It's she's not this dog person, because her husband, her new husband, still has to interact with the ex, which apparently not on good speaking terms about the dog.
I mean, most people don't like it when their significant other is in constant communication with their ex. That's really not just a fun thing that many people like to have. Right?
No.
Spoilers.
So of course she's kind of rooting for this dog to not be here anymore, because then she gets her husband all to herself.
And they can get their own dog. Right? That's what they're gonna.
And I'm like,
That's harsh, bro.
I'm gonna be talking about this right now. So I quickly was like, oh wow, so looking forward to today. So bad. Oh. So I just
yeah, you need to get you should have asked her. Right. You could have been like, so I'm really sorry. Hey, I've got a question. I've been polling people. What is your third favorite ice cream? Right? Just like completely.
Right. That's what I'm saying, where juggling would come in handy, because it's just not like out of nowhere. But I think that question is a very close second, or probably first, since I don't know how to juggle. Of us, like,
true.
But this is probably how I would introduce that. I'd go, cool. What's your third favorite ice cream? Like,
yeah, you got to work on that delivery. Right? You got to get it. You got to. That transition's important, right? That's why. It's a little less abrupt than juggling, which is good, because if you just start flinging around spoons, people are going to be real confused about their life, right? Like, what the heck is it? Like that? Like, you don't want to be known as panic juggling guy, right? Like, you just like whip a bunch of scarves out of your pocket.
Yes.
No, you got the fetch balls. You got the fetch balls.
Oh, it's branded juggling. Yes.
He's all of a sudden, like, you don't know what to say in a conversation, so you whip out the blue tennis balls and start going down.
Well,
what in the Steve Martin is happening right now? I don't understand.
Exactly. It's just like, because I don't like this situation. It's just like just a very realization of I am so ill-equipped, and this is really like. This is not a normal conversation that anybody should be having. And
no,
this is not like, why? So, my gosh. Yeah. So that was what primed me. That was my emotional primer going into the seminar. Just like, right. And then, then all of these things are being thrown at me. He's playing audio clips from commercials that I haven't heard in over 20 years that I'm like,
audio clips. Is it really relevant marketing if you're 20-year-old commercials, right? If you're like, welcome to Furniture Factory Omelet, right? Like, if you're like, that's your reference point, like, oh no.
Well, and some of the stuff was to show like progression, or like, this is the first one that they did and blah, blah, blah. And, or it was just his favorite. But my goodness, I was just like, I mean, I've described many things as a fever dream before. But I just think the amount of the pace of things that were coming and going, and he kept on calling the whole theme of this was like camping, and so he kept calling us campers.
Oh,
like,
no!
Well, pull a log up around the fire and let's chat. And like, he had
that's. Okay, even coming from somebody who is an Eagle Scout, right? Like, that stuff is hokey and nobody likes it, right? Like, this is not what, like, in Boy Scouts, these are not words that people said, because we're hyper aware that people make fun of Boy Scouts for being hokey and lame. So you can't be, no, I'm not throwing on these words. These are not allowed. This is non-negotiable. Okay, we don't say the morning camper unless you are Cub Scout day camp. All right, so if you're a lower elementary school,
yes.
so if you're talking to us, 8-year-old, this is an okay vocabulary to be using. Anything outside of that purview, stop it.
Right. And he kept referring to like the guest speakers as like the camp counselors and stuff. Right.
No, the extended metaphor.
Oh, it kept going. Like there were, he even had
This is good for creative writing, but not here.
Well, his logo was like pine trees and was kind of rustic.
Oh, no.
And the
it's like a elementary summer school, right? It's gone wrong.
Yep. And he had what did he have? He had a fake I'm gonna sneeze, sorry.
So that's what happens when you're in a basement, right? It's a little musty down there.
There we go. I'm back.
Okay.
He had fake lanterns around the front of it that were like, but they were, again, the disconnection between this is so fascinating of like how we have come all the way back around to skeuomorphism of like, why does the fake lantern need to have a fake flickering flame in there when that's not what that's not what lanterns are. And then I realized, because if he had a real lantern, a fake lantern, it would just be a lantern, right? Because they're just right. It just has a light, and that's what modern lanterns. Anyway, it was.
But he's drawing upon his Amish heritage of the oil lamp, right? As we the hurricane lantern, right? As we in there,
right. So it was, like I said,
gravy.
Yeah, it was very interesting. He is, like I said, I wrote a lot about some things, and then others was like, oh, this is not important to me, because the other aspect of this too, and I talked with Megan extensively about this afterwards, is just the fact that service-based businesses with a set service radius are hard for these people to get their brains around for how we operate.
No, yeah, because they're looking at like they always want to expand the radius of their influence, right?
Yes.
They don't have a set, because all of their stuff, like people come to them, right? Like people come to Amish Kitchen Guy.
Yes.
Right. He doesn't have to worry about going and servicing them at their place. I mean, I guess he does eventually if they're going to install stuff, but like,
yeah, but
that's not as big an issue.
No,
right?
The
that's
showroom
like,
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that makes, yeah.
And so, later they were talking about methods of advertising, and we're like, well, kind of what are you needing help with? And I was like, well, he's like, oh, like broadcast? And I was like, no, I serve a 6-mile radius, right? Your radio ad who reaches, I don't know.
Yeah, Camdenton. I don't really need that, right? Like, they don't need to hear about me in Forsyth. Okay, that's not helpful.
Right. Yeah, it's not helpful. And TV, also not helpful.
Even worse.
Right. So shooting promo videos or ad slots that would be accompanied with that are not helpful. And then they swung into, oh, so you're really thinking targeted ads. And I was like, well, so here's the crux of that problem.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, because, and I have talked about this on the show before. They went down the same road of like, well, you can put a pin at your competitors' locations, and anytime somebody enters there and then they go searching on Google, your ad will pop up to them. And I was like, yeah. See, when I get a targeted ad from something, I unsubscribe from that thing and add another ad blocker. And they looked at me and they're like, what? I was like, yeah, I used to listen to several podcasts that all of a sudden, like a local ad for a local car lot would come on, and that's creepy. And so I unsubscribed from that podcast, and I just don't get to listen to that content anymore because I don't want to be tracked and followed. And one of our core promises and core tenets and values of our company is that the client will be respected. And I don't think it is respectful of that person's privacy to do that kind of behavior. And so we're not going to engage in that. What else you got? And this was like, this really threw them for a loop to learn that I run like ad blockers on all of the devices. I have multiple VPNs, like, and it's not because I'm trying to do things illegal or like do nefarious things. It's I don't like being tracked. So that was hard for them to gather around, and was basically like, well, you can't do radio, you can't do TV, you can't do targeted ads in a digital space. So you're left with like Facebook, social media, and your Google My Business, and doing some like limited flyers to mail. Because they're like, oh, have you mailed flyers? And I said, oh, we mail flyers. Like, oh, how many do you mail out? And I know that the answer that they are wanting is like, oh, 20,000, right? Because that's what they're used to doing. And I'm like, we mailed 100 last month.
Yeah.
What? And I'm like,
again, we're targeting like a neighborhood. Like we're already here.
Right.
Right. Like I already have, like, if I have like 2 clients that live like over in this general area, then I'm going to blanket that neighborhood, because if I'm already over there, right, then my turnaround time between visits is much, much shorter, right? If I, instead of driving like across my 6-mile radius, I drive around the corner, right? Like,
well,
boom.
And I told him, I said, even if I were able to target several streets, you know, not a whole zip code, because he was like, oh, are you doing zip code? And I was like, no, like I'm doing like house
blocks. Yeah.
Like not even a whole block, right? I'm just doing like 5 houses around an existing client is pretty much all we do. And he goes, and he kind of just looked at me. And again, I'm going, if I had 1% return rate on that 10,000, I would be crushed. Like I couldn't take on any of them.
Yeah.
Like
we're a service industry with like, you know, this X number of employees, right? Like you can't like, there's not an infinite leap that you can take forward into, you know, I don't have, you don't have like just employees waiting around, right?
Right. And so kind of like, again, this whole like walking through everything with them. And it's weird because this is now like the second time that I've done this with somebody who's in this space. And we always end up back at the same point, which is, well, I guess, you know, keep doing what you're doing.
I know.
Which is frustrating because it's like, because, you know, me and, you know, we're sitting here thinking, there's no way we're doing everything that we can. There's no, what else can we do? What should we, and every time it's like, no, you're doing it. Like, okay, we'll just keep doing it.
Where's that conversation we've had before about boxes, right? You know, these people are all like, oh, you need to think outside the box. You need to plan outside this. But then they encounter something that is outside of their box and they go, I don't know what to do, right? Like the box that you're operating in is actually quite small in scope, right? And you think about, when you say think outside the box, you are thinking about like little things, right? You're not thinking about like really crazy alternatives to the idea, right? So you're going like, oh, this is not even close. Hey, this is back to the 2 different size boxes thing, right? This is the 2 boxes problem that we have here.
Right. Well, and it's very interesting that you bring that up, because at several points in the conversation, they tried to talk about like franchising or expanding more, like geographically further out.
Words that fit the model that you have.
Right. Right.
I know this and I'm a history teacher. Come on, people, I need science.
And I was like, I know, I'm like, no, that's not really want to go right now. And they got a little frustrated. And I know why, because just like you said, that would fit their model of marketing and advertising better than what I'm proposing.
They're looking for like an exponential growth, right? That's what they expect, right?
Yeah.
They're looking for, their growth chart looks very different, right? It's a different formula on the graph, right? They're looking for exponential growth where they want to like really zoom out and their curve like rockets upwards, where you need a much more like linear graph, right? We need to expand in these areas, and we need to do it by these increments, and we have to do these things. So it's the same. It's like it's literally two different math equations, right?
Yep.
If you graph those two things, it's a different formula, it's a different function on the graph, right? So like those two things trying to talk to each other is a difficult thing to do, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, because that's, multiple times during the presentation, it was, oh, well, we've started working with this person and they went from, $1 million and they're, $19 million and this and blah, blah. And I'm like, none of that, like, none of that sounds appealing. Like, well, we're just trying to do our best here. Like, and unfortunately what happens is people like them turn and basically go like, well, your dream's not big enough, so it's not good enough. So
Yeah.
go, I guess, fail at life, right? That's really
Yeah.
the feeling that you get from people. And that goes in all walks of life of, oh, you don't want to go be an astronaut and you don't want to go, be president and you don't want to do all this stuff. Well, your dreams aren't big enough. And it's incredibly infuriating to me when that kind of conversation comes up because it's very toxic.
How old are these people you're talking
to? One was late 40s, but the presenter guy, I mean, he's
way older, right?
Yeah, he's pushing 70 or more. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, because this is the modern message that, like you read things about like what's being pushed to kids on like TikTok and YouTube shorts and stuff. It's that like mentality, like this like really weird, like overdrive, like masculine nonsense, right? That's kind of trashy, right? It's like, it's like, yeah, you got to do this because you got to invest in yourself and the sky's the limit. And like all this like really weird, like it was on motivational posters in middle schools in like 1993, right? But like it's like wrapped up in a new way. And like, it feels like a very, like I don't know, it's like a very 1980s, like Wall Street kind of thing, right? Like it feels kind of that kind of vibe. And that didn't work out, as we know. So like,
well, it's a vibe. It's a vibe pushed out by, honestly, like branders and marketers, because they want the sky to be the limit because then they have more people to brand and market to and with and for. And that mindset of bigger is always better. It is very much this 1980s before, the big, the other big crash.
Yeah, the late 80s, right? The late 80s stock market crash, right? Pre then, when everything was like, oh, up and up and up and up and up, and bigger is better, and like really big, extravagant. That's what you need. Everything's got to be big and gaudy, and that's more is more, and that kind of stuff, right? Like nah, man. Like, that's like it's that, I don't know. It's that like hyper, like greed almost, right, is driving it. Not like, and it's not, it doesn't come from not always. Okay, this is a generalization. I'm aware of that, right? Sweeping generalization ahead, but like it doesn't come from a place of like, I want to serve my customer the best, right? It's like, I want to have the most customers.
Yeah.
Great. It's got like, those are two different things, right? Like the Dave Thomas problem, right? Do you believe Dave Thomas when he's talking about like, I want to make you a good hamburger? Those are not the same message, right? Those are not the same. That's not the same path of, I want to make you a good hamburger, right? I want to be your jeweler. To, I want to sell a lot of jewelry. Those are not the same message, and there's not a right or wrong necessarily, but you don't need to sell the most jewelry if you want to sell good jewelry to people. It's not the same.
Right. Well, yeah, because it's about your goals for what you want. And that's hard to get this idea of, kind of twist this on too, of like, do I want, like, how to put this, of like, do I want to have a lifestyle or do I want to just, or do I feel like I have to be crushing at everything and winning?
Oh yeah, no.
Those are two different mindsets of what you want your life to look like. And in business, I think a lot of people start out going, I just want a lifestyle business. I just want to help people. And even this branding thing started off by talking about be customer focused, right? Customer focused, of not product focused. Customer focused, not product focused. And yes, I agree on that. But then you realize, oh, it's not. It's customer focused because we're worried about the number of customers,
the amount of customers. Yeah, not the quality that we're giving them, right? Like,
yeah, well,
how many of them there are.
And he was talking about this ladder experiment or this ladder mentality of right, draw a ladder, put 7 rungs on it. I'm going to give you a market category, and I want you to write as many brands as you can, and fill up. Your goal is to fill up all 7. And he said toothpaste, right? And he's like, I was in Walmart. Right. He said, I was in Walmart the other day and I counted there were 14 brands of toothpaste. How many can you name?
2.
Right. Yes, exactly. That's what I wrote. And interestingly, neither of them are my brand of toothpaste that I use. I don't know its name. I just know its color and where it is on the shelf. So
See, I was thinking of the one I use and Colgate, obviously, because that's the other one.
No, I genuinely.
3, I guess. I remember Crest.
Okay,
Crest
yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored by toothpaste, okay? But brush your teeth.
I wrote Crest and Colgate, and I could not remember the name of mine that I actually use. Like, I have no idea what it's called. I just know where it is and the color.
One.
What?
Yes, it's Crest, Colgate, and the other one. Like,
another one. And this was to show you that this teaching principle was what? This was, if you're not number 1 or number 2 on people's minds, you're nothing.
You can still buy it at the store, because when you present it with them side by side and you read them, and then one is significantly less, you go, oh, they use that one, I guess.
And that was that whole concept that you just mentioned was at no point addressed in this entire thing.
Yeah.
Of let's talk about the buyer's journey of like, they don't have a problem. They do have a problem. They discover you. They learn more about you. They move forward. And I'm like, where does pricing come into this?
Yeah. I mean, and this only works in some markets. Like, this is a good like idea, right?
Yeah.
But then you move into like shirts. Okay, well, now there's like 200 billion brands. I can name you one of them, but like, I don't care, right? I'm looking at a lot of other things. I'm not looking at the branding, right? I'm not looking at this. I'm not looking at, you don't buy toothpaste because of the brand, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm sure somebody does one time, but then you buy it like, you buy it first because you're like, I don't know what toothpaste to buy. Right? Your dentist gives you one little thing and you go, okay, well, I guess let's use that. But like, you do other things, right? There's so many other market influences now in 2023 with like internet and product research and like product rankings and like independent market websites that like look at all kinds of stuff, right? And so like, there are the big brands, but these are now legacy brands, right? Like, you're not buying Nike because it's a good shoe, right? You're buying Nike because it says Nike on it, right?
Yeah.
You're not really, and that, like, all those other products that no one sees you use, like, it literally doesn't matter.
No.
You just buy the one that you like. Like, no one's gonna be like, no one's gonna come to your house and be like, oh, bro, I see you got the good toothpaste. Like, they're not doing that. That's ridiculous.
No. And I was thinking about this of like, this kind of branding and stuff only works in market segments that aren't commoditized. Right? Exactly. Right. Like when I go, I need here we go. I need shirts and some shorts. What do? Right. I go to Amazon. No, I go to Amazon and I go to Amazon. I go Amazon Basics and I select so a couple different colors, maybe a different option, and I buy. Like, I'm just I don't know. Like, I just need a shirt, right? That's all I think I'm going for.
That's true.
And so it's also, but it's like what you're saying of like, if you just need something, you're just going to go get it. And the brand doesn't really matter for certain objects or items. And so
it's irrelevant. Like,
it is irrelevant.
I mean, it is now, again, this is somebody who is like going to be 40 in a couple years. And there are some of these brands are just like etched into my brain from like all the insane advertising from a long time ago.
Yes.
Right. And so like, it's unbidden, Nobody, summoned it out of the ether. But I think about Dockers like everyone else does, right? It's so like firmly ensconced in your brain that is what dress pants is. If you're of a certain age and you grew up a certain time, right? That is it. And so that's just it. I don't care. Am I necessarily going to buy them? No, but like that's what I think about, right? I guess you can combat the market force with your other dress pant, right? Whatever, but like no one care. I mean, people care very much about this stuff. Right? A lot of people care very deeply about these things. Those people are not named me, but like, and so again, I'm not a target audience for these things because I don't care, right? I'm not interested in that. I just want pants. Like that's all I want.
Right.
Pants that are on sale would be nice. That would be that's the goal.
And so that gets back to a lot of this of like real world application. And it may just of going, how much does this actually work? And obviously it works. Something works because people do this all the time. But to go, there is a way to run this without, and and you should be able to do that without feeling like if you're not going to the moon and back, why are you even in business? And I get that feeling sometimes of when talking with these people or people at business networking events or just people in general, again, of this, well, if you're not doing these things, you're a waste of time. And it's just because at the end of the day, like here's the other thing of like, it benefits these people. Like the people who dismiss you, the reason they're dismissing you is because they can't use you.
Yeah.
Right?
You're no benefit to them, right? You can't. They can't.
Yeah.
You can't hire them for marketing purposes, right? Like that's what
because weirdly, Brandon, it's crazy. Are you ready for this? One of the core principles of surviving a tough time in the economy. Get this: the fourth principle that he talked about was don't slash budgets, optimize them. Why would a marketing agency want to tell me to not slash? Oh, that's right, my marketing budget.
Yeah, you don't want to be cut out of the pie, right? Like,
and again, I understand market through good times and bad, and using your money more wisely is a good principle. But we also have to recognize that there is an ulterior motive here of why that's important to them. The marketing agency is telling you, oh no, you should keep up your ad spend through the downturn, right?
Yeah. Like we're an essential, right? Like don't like if you're thinking about like essentials and non-essentials and like where to cut things, they want to be in the essential category.
Yes.
Right?
Like yep. So,
and they also don't like the other reason I think they poo-poo your like, well, you can do like Facebook and social media marketing, I guess, if that's all you got, like because you can do that yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need them to market on social media because that's the whole point is you can just do it.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, they get cut out. They're not needed. And instead of coming across as like, instead of like what you should say in those instances is sounds like you really have a handle on this and you're running the business that you want. I wouldn't worry about anything. You maybe just need to be a little bit more patient. Like that's what should be said. But instead it comes across as, well, I guess if that's all you want to do, run your little thing. Okay, well, do that. Very dismissively.
Yeah. Right? You don't want a yacht, I guess. Loser. Like
he literally had a picture of him on a yacht.
Of course he did. He's wearing board shorts. Of course he has a yacht. Probably not his yacht. Probably rented. It's rented. It's not his. See through the smoke, man.
Because there's always
a rented
smoke.
Yacht. It's a rented yacht. The internet has taught me to not trust anyone. That's what I don't. I see a picture of a person on the yacht. I'm like, bro, that's not your yacht. Stop it.
Yeah. So that was my day with a slap of reality mixed in.
What
in the
an
mix?
Exciting day. That was.
It was.
Oh man.
There
we go.
Oh. Gosh.
Well, nothing near as exciting as that happening in my life. Oh man, I haven't been to any marketing meetings or
Wild.
anything like that. I know, right? Wow, yeah, it's shocking. I don't know. Do have to go to some like meeting next week? Blah, about grade card changes and nonsense. I don't know. I'll report how well that goes later. I haven't been yet, so I have no knowledge of what's actually happening. So nothing to report. Well. But I did make my kids give their first presentation this year today. They were
how'd it go?
Unexcited. It was not. It was fine. They were so sad about nothing.
Great.
They're like, oh no. I did tell them this is the best reaction I've ever had. Though I told them like, okay, here's my rule is I take volunteers first, right? So volunteers. When I run out of volunteers, I will randomly assign who goes next. So I use this website called the Wheel of Names. And it's just like a big Wheel of Fortune wheel. And you just type things on it. And then you click it and it spins and it's a picker, right? But I put it up on the board today. And I was just like, all right, next up is click. And then it like spins around. And they were like holding their breath. Oh no, I don't want to go next. Palatable exhales whenever they not me. Okay. But
just get some nice tension and drama. Very nice.
Yeah. It's fine. It's a presentation about where they want to go on vacation. It's not like a big deal. Like, come on, guys. They'll be a little harder later on, but this was just kind of ease them into it,
Right.
Build up the thing. But it was funny. I put them on there, so that's what we did today. We got to do the rest of them tomorrow because we didn't get all the way through. But I planned. Did you 2 days.
Have some good vacation spots and ideas come up?
Oh yeah, there's pretty good ones on there, right? Like everyone, there's definitely the ones that are like way better than others, right? But
yeah,
there were some good ones on there. So we had some classics, right? Had the Londons and the Tokyos of the thing, right? Every once in a while, there's one that really like you go, like, huh? Why would you go there?
Okay.
They're just like, oh, I don't know. Right. Every once in a while, somebody did. I don't know why they did it. She's very silly, but she did Antarctica. It was hers. Never had that one before, so that's new. Like, but yeah, that's pretty good. So we'll finish on tomorrow. There that goes. Then we'll get it ready. It's Mesopotamia time. Oh yeah,
it is. It is the Mesopotamia time of year.
It is. I'm ready. I'm excited. I am in the middle of redoing last year for towards the end of the year when we were doing Greek stuff. We have these little things like story time, right? Where I will like tell them like famous stories from the period, right? So I do one about Theseus and the Minotaur, Theseus, namesake of 2 episode titles from this podcast, weirdly. And I do one about the Trojan War, right? So I'm going back and doing one about the Epic of Gilgamesh. So I just make slides on a slideshow with like just pictures, So I like when I can highlight the important parts and go through there. And so I'm in the middle of remaking one for Gilgamesh because I didn't have one last year because I decided after that I was like, oh, I should have pictures. That would be better. And so it's.
Yeah, well, I mean, they help, right? So making those small adjustments. That's good.
Yeah, so I'm doing that. I have found my note card that I have the summary. It's a long story. So I have the summary on there. I have to cut out some things because it's a little bit. Some of the parts are like skip. So we give the edited version to the 12-year-old, right? That's important. Cut out some of the scandalous bits, and then. Go there. So yes, for all of you listeners going, you tell 6th graders the Epic of Gilgamesh? Not all of it. Okay. It's fine. Skip. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Oh, and I successfully recorded some audio tracks for my special education students this week.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we'll see. They're not like perfect, still messing around with the setup a little bit, but we got that done. So that's ready to rock. Hopefully that works. We'll see how helpful that is, but we'll get that going too. So I started doing that, and yeah, we have some weird random stuff happening.
Oh,
yeah, next week is pumpkin patch time, right? and then we have to, in a couple weeks, we are doing the fall reading celebration / Halloween tie-in, right? That's what it is.
Nice.
So
Yep.
Susan helps the library put on the reading celebration thing, and so there's like games and activities, and they take the kids trick-or-treating around town in a school bus during like their special class time and stuff like that. And then there's like other activities and stuff, and we have to do things and whatever. But yes, that is what we're doing. And I'm bringing this up mostly to tell you that part of the thing is they want teachers to dress up as book characters, right? Which this is not appealing to me at all because I hate dressing up. It's the worst part. This spoilers for like a future episode here when we talk about Halloween movies. I don't like Halloween at all. I think it's lame. But right. Wow. But I have picked a book character, excuse me, to dress as for Halloween.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Pony. Boom! We're gonna the ultimate crossover event, right? We're gonna
That's a good one. Okay,
because I'm gonna wear jeans and a t-shirt. Nailed it. Done.
And what are you going to be carrying?
Well, the book probably, but also an egg sandwich. Right?
An egg sandwich. Thank you. Thank you. You're just going to have to make it last all day long. Make two so you can eat one and have another one as a prop.
When I print out a picture of an egg sandwich, just put it on my desk, and all the kids are like, "What are you doing?"
Oh no, even better.
Don't worry about it.
No. You're going to have the book. You're going to make a dust jacket, and the outside is going to be the egg sandwich.
Oh, that would be sick. Man, so I have to investigate how this works.
Yes,
I have access to the color printer now, so I just hold on, people.
Oh yeah, you got your printer issues resolved and everything, right? Or did you?
Not really.
No, okay, sorry.
For working on that. I tried it today, but I think I have to reboot my whole thing again, and I didn't want to do that today because I had like 90 tabs open for the work I was doing, so I didn't want to like restart my whole computer to reset my printer thing. So,
yeah, a dust jacket book cover of an egg sandwich. I think.
Yes. Yeah. And so I think that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna wear. I'm just gonna wear like a black t-shirt and some jeans.
You're gonna get your hair greased back.
I could. I don't have that much hair. I don't have quite as much hair as Pony, but we'll think about that.
Wig. Get a wig.
Slick it down. Slick it down.
Yeah. Okay.
You're like, don't worry about it. I think the English teacher will get my joke. That'll be it. That's gonna be the only person.
Well, and if there's one person who should get it,
that's
English
true.
Teacher.
She's got me. She'll give me. This is the best. Best costume.
That's great.
It requires no costuming. It's the best part. I was like, what? I just need to dress up as like a normal person.
Yeah.
Who can I be? And I was like, wait. I know.
Yep.
And I think I still have my leather jacket around here somewhere. It probably doesn't fit very well, but
for the few times that you're gonna be wearing it in and out throughout the day, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think we'll make it work. I just put it on. It'll help with the look, right? Because I don't have a jean jacket. Because who has a jean jacket in 2023? Not me.
Nobody. No, it's fine.
Right,
it's fine.
Maybe Goodwill has one. Cross Lines might have a jean jacket.
Hey.
But yeah, just gonna wear some old jeans and a t-shirt. Insta Pony Boy.
Oh. Well, obviously photos are going to be required to this. So,
oh yeah. Oh man, it's going to be great. But I just thought I needed to share with you my Halloween costume idea because I knew that you would appreciate it. And that,
yeah, no, I think it's going to. I think it's it's very exciting. That's very exciting. I approve, especially with the egg sandwich. However, you tie that in,
we'll have to make sure it's there somewhere. I don't want to just carry a sandwich in my pocket all day. That'd be real awkward. Yes. But like,
oh, that'll be good.
I think it's great. Love this idea. I was like, okay, I'm in now. That I didn't want to dress up as like some like weird lame book character, but I'm gonna be Pony.
Yeah. Like, wait, I'm in. Yeah, all in now. Okay,
all
I'm
in
behind
now.
this.
Again, my motivation is I need to dress up as a normal person because I don't want to procure costume bits.
No,
that's annoying. That's an expense I don't need in my life.
Right.
I want to like not buy. I don't want to buy things that I will literally never wear again in my life. So,
except
Pony, it is.
Except if they continue to do this.
That's true. I'm gonna need one for next year.
Yes,
it's true. I don't know what to do about that, but we'll worry about that next October. We'll see. Well, maybe we'll write another book by then for Oh Brother, so I might have more ammunition to choose from here.
Yeah,
but I like I like this idea of using our first read along book.
Yes,
The Outsiders. Right. So there we go.
Very good. Yeah.
For listeners unfamiliar, we did a whole read through of The Outsiders, right? So you can find that on our website, right? Just put Outsiders, you'll find it. Multi-part episode of a deep dive into The Outsiders. But
into the outsider now is verse. Yes.
The Outsiderverse, right? There we go. So I'm
I try and figure out, what on earth yeah, man, that was crazy. We did that in
it was a long time ago now.
A long time ago. Yes. That was
like there's over 200 of these things already. Like, what the heck? How did that happen?
Yes. How did that happen? That's crazy. That's not right. Wait a minute. Yeah. So we will I'll try and include a link or two to those shows.
Keep you updated on the costume front.
Yes.
But yeah.
I need photos. And while you're doing that, I think do you want to try I think next week we should do do you want to do next week for the Halloween thing, or do you want to wait till the week before Halloween? We
can do it next week if you want to, right?
Okay.
That's fine. I am having trouble with my list, right? I'm having list identity problems. Right. Because as the aforementioned problem is, I don't like Halloween. Right. It's like the least favorite holiday out of I prefer Arbor Day. All right. This is how this works. But so I don't know. Since the challenge is best Halloween movie, I can't decide if my list should be movies that are actually centered around Halloween or movies that are like Halloween vibes, right? Like tangentially related that you could watch because they contain spooky elements.
This is the Die Hard problem, right?
It is.
Of what classifies, and I think that's valid. So
so I have this split list on my paper here. I have a list that's Halloween-ish movies, and then I have a list that's just tangentially related to Halloween. Weird, mixing them together. I don't know which direction I'm going to go. Don't know what to do about this. So,
yes. Well, we'll plan on doing it next week. But if you need an extension, we will.
Yeah,
we will do this.
I think I could probably whittle some down. I've watched a few of these. I've done some research on some of the stuff. And some of them are then again, some of them I watch part of them or watch highlights of them, and I'm I don't even like this movie.
Right?
I don't. So it is a Halloween movie. Like, there's one that I watched. I was like, this is a Halloween movie, straight up. And I don't have a lot of like pure Halloween movies. I don't have enough to make a 5 list. I don't really love this movie though. So like,
are you feeling like you're forced to have something on there that you don't want to?
yeah, I don't want to put something on my list that I don't believe in. Right. Okay. I feel like it would be a good like runner up or a movie to mention, like
okay,
as a, alternate, but like I don't feel like it has a place on my list because it's really not a movie that I would like want to watch like multiple times.
Gotcha.
So we may have a hybridized list. It might be like a couple Halloween movies, a couple Halloween vibey movies, right? They're in the spirit of Halloween because they're like mildly spooky, right? Or there is a ghost or something like that. I don't know. But
I think that's fine.
Okay. I just wanted to share my crisis that I've been having, right? This is
fair. I think that's fair. That's fair. Well, now that we have the asterisks and the qualifiers, I think that sets that's good expectations.
All right. I just want to share my dilemmas with everybody here.
Okay.
This is not an easy list to put together.
No, it's hard. It's hard. I've been kind of the same stuff too. So
okay,
because there's a lot of like, yeah. Anyway, we'll talk all about that.
All right,
next week.
Yeah,
good. Okay, well, that's fantastic. Great. Well, lots to look forward to.
All righty.
Okay, love you.
Love you.